When I say 28, y'all say page. 28. 28. You gotta visualize. You gotta believe it. But we gotta be it. We're here because this is Black History Month. So during Black History Month, we look back, we think about those that came before us, we think about our ancestors. What we want to do is move forward. And the beauty of this particular campaign and this particular movement in this community is we're figuring out how we can move forward. If you're just hearing about the 28 Days campaign, just start from where you are. Your 28 Days begins now. I'm big on passion. I'm big on passion. Passion is so much a part of what drives me. And what I believe is that there's this intersection, this thing that I like to call the point of no return, right? Where passion and purpose come together, right? There are a lot of things that we're passionate about, a lot of things that we love to do. But what gives us the greatest sense of fulfillment and where we find the right alignment is when we take that passion and we marry it with the purpose. Yeah. Anybody know that feeling? Yeah. That's a good feeling. The beauty of this current era and this environment that we're living in, there are so many tools. And thanks to people like AT&T that are giving us new tools so that we can reach out, so that we can stay connected, so that those dreams and those hopes and those aspirations that we have, now we know how to get it moving. My good friend Kevin Powell says a lot, the leadership that we're waiting for is within us. You know, that dream, all of those things that we need, it's an inside job. The story that I want to tell is how the hip-hop generation that I'm part of, how we created and changed the course of history, right? Just by sheer determination and taking action and realizing that we could change the dynamics in the course of history. So change always begins from what? Sheer necessity, right? I gotta make it. I gotta get from point A to point B. I gotta pay this bill. I gotta get this thing done. I've gotta figure out a way, and sometimes we gotta make a way out of no way. And so this culture born out of necessity becomes a conduit for self-expression, the creativity, all of the things that were happening in and around this time. And I was one of them, right, in the late 80s when the Air Jordans were first released, right, in 85. And I was the youngest of 3 boys, and I was raised by a single parent. So things were very difficult at home. But when it came to the Jordans, I was like, Mom, we ain't got to pay the light bill this month. I'm just saying. Mom, I'm just saying. Like, so starting with just those few brands, and also at the same time, it's not just so much about product, right? There's a lot of demand, there's a lot of consumption that goes on against this audience. But also at that same time, what hip hop was doing was it was giving us a sense of consciousness. So it wasn't so much just about what I'm wearing or what clothes I have, but it was about connecting us to issues relative to the community. The story of this generation is quite phenomenal in terms of being able to motivate itself, to be able to have a plan. The entrepreneurship, our rise in entrepreneurship in many ways connected to hip-hopreneurs and the hip-hop community, starting businesses and brands and labels and things along those lines to really create and forge a new path. And I believe I'm living proof and a living testament to this particular quote, which is one of my favorites, right? The best way to predict the future is to create it, right? If we're thinking about what the future is going to look like for a business or for an industry or for anything that you can think of, go out and create it. So I started in advertising and marketing here, but I knew that I wanted to go further. I knew that I wanted to go higher. And eventually I was able to work myself into corporate America and out to Nike and the Jordan brand. And one of my responsibilities was basically to create awareness for the new products, including all the Nike basketball stuff, etc. I understood youth culture. It was something that I really loved, I was passionate about. And then they told me I had to go to Chicago for a photo shoot with Michael Jordan. One of the things that I learned most from Michael was that success occurs when preparation meets opportunity, right? Sometimes it's just about being prepared when that opportunity comes, and that's something that I love about this campaign, because now we're getting prepared. Like, we got to have a plan. Success is something that can be fleeting, but at the same time, as I like to say, success as an object is always closer than it appears. Wow. Right? Just like that in your mirror, and you're looking, it's like, oh, that's way back. No, it's right there. So sometimes success as an object is closer than it appears. So it's like right there. You know, that thing that you want, it's right there. It's right around the corner. Identify your board of directors. Identify who that is in your life, those people that you can go to, that you can talk to when you need it. You got to have that in your life. But you also got to realize that everybody don't need to be in the front row of your life. That's why they make balconies. The other thing I learned from Michael was that failure is part of the deal. You know, sometimes we look at failure as this thing that we have to be ashamed about. I'll tell y'all right now, I have failed. I tried to start a minor league basketball team and we failed. I had like 3 people like, hoo, hoo, in the stands. You know, in business school, the biggest thing I learned was something called opportunity cost. What that means is if I'm doing this, I'm missing out on that. So while I was trying to be Mark Cuban with my minor league basketball team, right, and investing all this time, I was losing opportunity over here. So that's why we have to have this plan so we can identify where and how to invest and utilize our time. So we're here tonight because we want to begin to write a page in history, right? So now I want to get into some specifics on how we do that. I was at a luncheon in Dallas during All-Star Weekend and had a chance to be with the commissioner of the WNBA. And she said something that moved me, and that's why I love Twitter. I was like, boom, I know they're like, he's rude. I was like, nah, I'm tweeting this one. And she said, you can't be what you can't see. Wow. I said, man, that hit me. And if you think about it, right, that is the essence of where our designs start. Like if we can't see it for ourselves, it's not going to happen. Next, we got to believe it. You got to believe it yourself, because if you don't believe it, nobody else will. So faith is so important to us as a people, right? But faith is an action step. You know, a lot of people think faith is kind of this passive situation where it's like, man, I'm just boom, man, I'm just in the ring and but I'm all right. You know? No, faith is action. I remember my freshman year, I had a philosophy class. And I remember this quote, cogito ergo sum. And I could not get it. And the instructor told me, he said, and it stood for I think, therefore I am. That's the Greek translation for it. And I'm like, I couldn't wrap my mind around that concept. What do you mean you think, therefore you, either you are or you ain't, right? That was my thought. But what he said was that there's something that happens with our thoughts, right? If we think something, we become that. One of my favorite quotes is, dreams without a concrete plan don't interest me. Wow. We can't, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of dreams. We spend a lot of time thinking or dreaming, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. All of us, myself included, but we got to take the action, right? We got to take the corresponding action after that. And then finally, we got to be it. We got to just be. What makes the 28 Days campaign so simple and effective is that just like your dreams, you carry it with you. So if that's online, if that's on your cell phone, your dreams don't stop. And with the AT&T 28 Days campaign, you can stay connected. You can continue to reach out to those that can be in your cheering section, those who can understand the nature of your dreams and of your goals, and continue every day, every week to stay connected. When I say 28, y'all say days. 28, days. 28, days. When I say 28, y'all say days. 28, days. 28. Days. Thank you, God bless you.